Bayern Munich II, the feeder club, the youth club for Bayern Munich, currently applying their trade in the third Bundesliga division. I want to see if we can make Bayern Munich II not only better than the senior team, but also champions of Europe. Today, we take on the challenge of rebuilding Bayern Munich II. But lads, we are on the absolute grind for 400,000 subscribers, and still, over 90% of you watching the video right now are not subscribed to the channel. So, if you are new around here, make sure you bloody scorpion kick that subscribe button down below. If you have not had the pleasure of seeing a rebuild video in the past, here are the rules. So the main objective is to win the UEFA Champions League. Every game in the rebuild is simulated except for the Champions League final. The transfers can be as unrealistic or realistic as we like. There's a big focus on the transfer window. And finally, of course, don't get butthurt if I sell your favorite player. There's the rules, let's get into the rebuild. So this is what our starting 11 looked like for season number 1. Obviously, when it's a youth team of Bayern Munich, it's not the worst team in the world. A lot of high potential or mediocre potential players, so there is a bit to work with, but there is definitely a lot of improving if we want to be climbing up the divisions. So for this first season, I want to be going in for a new right back and a new centre midfielder, potentially even some more positions, but right back and centre midfield are the spots I'm pushing for straight up. So we have gone ahead and signed ourselves a new centre defensive midfielder here. It is Simon Sohm, the Swiss midfielder, coming across from FC Zurich for £590,000. And just like that, I've already achieved my 2 goals. It is Joshua Wagnermann, the German wonder kid right back, signing from Hamburg, coming down from the second division for 1.3 million. This is good job already. There are a few older players in our squad that I have to get rid of as well. The first one, Nicholas Feldhahn, leaving the club here for 155k. I've also decided to sell Maximilian Welzmüller to Frosinone here for 510,000. We've ended up with a little bit more money than I initially expected, so we've gone ahead and signed another midfielder here, Oliver Skip, coming from Tottenham for 1.4 mil. That is an absolute steal. And I have decided to part ways with Angelo Meyer, headed to Stevenage in the English leagues for 145k. Big dosh right there, baby. Let's go. So there we go. A pretty decent start to life at Bayern Munich II. Sohm, Wagnermann, and Skip all into the club. And our push for promotion is getting off to a fantastic start. On the 1st of January, we find ourselves top of the third Bundesliga division, currently equal on points with Victoria Cologne, so hopefully we can break ahead of them in the second half of the season and get that automatic promotion. But just because we've had a good start to the season doesn't mean I want no more improvements. We've gone ahead and signed a new left back. It's another German player. I want to get a nice German core into the squad, but it is Noah Katterbach coming across here from FC Cologne for 1.4 mil. That is about all we could do in this transfer window. Katterbach into the club, nobody out of it. Let's see if that's enough for us to get automatic promotion to the second division. Yes, it is. We end up finishing 7 points ahead of Ingolstadt. That's crazy that Ingolstadt are in the third division. I mean, only a few years ago, I'm pretty sure they had Matthew Leckie, the Australian, playing for them, and they were in the Bundesliga. So that is a big fall from grace for them. But we finished top of the third division. Not that it really matters, but 1860 Munich, Karl Zeiss Jena, and Chemnitzer, they are all finishing bottom of the league. And Victoria Cologne have actually bottled promotion to the second division, losing the promotion playoff final. Liverpool have managed to win an all-English Champions League final. And Borussia Dortmund, they are the Europa League champs. So there we go, we achieved our goal for season number 1, brought in some quality players, got automatic promotion. Now we look to continue our rise up the divisions. Let's get into the second Bundesliga division. Life in Bundesliga 2 with Bayern Munich 2 is going to start with a player departure. Timo Kern headed to Japan. I have also decided to loan out one of our younger players. Yannick Rochelt is headed to Reading for the next year. And Michael Nitolitsky is headed to Walsall for £145,000. I've decided I want to go ahead and make a big improvement up top. So we have sold Kwasi Okyere Reid here to Celtic, the Ghanaian striker, leaving for just under £4 million. And there it is, we have picked up his replacement. It is a worthy pickup. It is a player that I have high hopes for in this rebuild. Julian Alvarez, the Argentinian striker, signing here for £9.3 million from Boca Juniors. I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record in these rebuilds, but say it after me, lads, quality over quantity. Alvarez is going to be an insane signing, hopefully. And now this is what the side looks like after a season and a half. Sarpreet Singh, the Kiwi player, former Wellington Phoenix player. I have a soft spot for Bayern Munich II just because Sarpreet Singh's in this side. I want to have him here for the entirety of the rebuild, hopefully, but the side's looking decent. We're actually in a better position than I initially thought. I thought, all right, we've just been promoted. We're probably going to have to scrap to avoid relegation, but completely the opposite. We find ourselves sitting in 6th position in the Bundesliga 2. Currently, 11 points out of the playoffs, so we've got a bit of ground to make up. Unfortunately, though, the signing of Alvarez has completely drained the piggy bank here. No business done in this January window. And no Bundesliga football for us in season number 3. It's okay, we finish in 4th position, 16 points out of the playoffs, so well and truly out of that title race and out of the top spots. So at least we've had a season to build upon. Ingolstadt and Regensburg automatically going down though with Dresden in the playoff game. Bayer Leverkusen are going to win the DFB Pokal this season. Bielefeld take down Union Berlin to go up to the Bundesliga. And Dresden have avoided relegation down to the 3rd division. It's another goddamn Champions League title here for Liverpool. Make it stop. And AC Milan come out as Europa League champions this season. Just quickly checking in on how the growth is going for a few of our players. And the good thing when you have a mostly youth academy side is that you're going to get some pretty good growth. That's very obvious this season. Alvarez already up to a 78 as well. My God, man. So we avoided relegation. We almost got promoted and we made some decent transfer business happen. Very keen to see how the push for potential promotion goes in season 3 with Bayern Munich II. Decided an upgrade in the backline is necessary, so we have gone to Belgium, gone to Anderlecht and paid £3.4 million for the Belgian wonderkid defender Marco Kana. Batista Maya has been one of our better players, honestly, in this rebuild so far, but our squad has somewhat outgrown him, and I got £5.1 million offered to me by Cardiff for this man, so I'm going to let him head to Wales. And that money has come in quite handy because we've blown, well, the majority of our budget on this signing, but it's a pretty insane signing. It is Ansu Fati, the Spanish winger, coming across not from Barcelona, but from Fiorentina for £22 million. A lot of money, but this guy is going to make such a difference, hopefully, to our squad. Again, when you're spending big money on a player like Ansu Fati, you can't expect much more business to happen here, but £25 million spent in the window, $5 million in. Fati, mate, I hope you live up to the expectations. The push for promotion continues here, fellas. We find ourselves 3rd in the 2nd division, 43 points, currently occupying that playoff spot. Just Hamburg and Augsburg sitting ahead of us. We have also upgraded another defensive position here. Eric Garcia, £7.8 million from Man City, under market value. Whatever happened to him when he caught that knock a few weeks ago when he was playing for Man City against, I think it was against Arsenal. Is he alright? So Eric Garcia, the only addition to the squad. A worthy addition as well. Very keen to see if he makes a big difference for us in the second half of this season. Ladies and gentlemen, Bayern Munich II have been promoted to the Bundesliga. We finish 2nd here in the Bundesliga 2, dropping just 2 losses all season. Only 1 point behind Augsburg, so we're headed up to the top flight. It's going to be a challenge, but we're up at least. St. Pauli Osnabrück both automatically down. RB Leipzig have taken down Bayern Munich 1 in the DFB Pokal final. Düsseldorf have stopped Hamburg from being promoted, and Duisburg have also been stopped from being promoted to the second division. Liverpool, chill lads, absolutely chill. 3 Champions League titles in a row for them. And Arsenal do take down Chelsea in a replay of last year's real-life Europa League final. Remember at the start of the season when I said Ansu Fati better pay off for us? Well, his first season, he scores 33 bloody goals. So far, it's been a good return on investment. But we've done it, lads. We are up into the Bundesliga here with Bayern Munich II. Tell you what, it's going to have to be a big effort though for us to avoid relegation here in Season 4. Like I said, we're going to have to make some big moves if we are to avoid relegation here. The first of which is to bring in the French wonderkid midfielder, Eduardo Camavinga. We've signed him from Stade Rennais for £17.3 million. Very happy to have him at the club. Lars Lucas Mai does have decent potential, but he's not having much game time now that we've improved the backline slightly, so I've decided to loan him out to Lazio to keep the growth coming. Same deal here with Flavius Danilic. He's headed to Wigan Athletic for the next year. And for the third successive time, we've done the same thing here with our first ever signing. Simon Sohm headed to Braga on a 1-year loan. What doesn't make sense to me is the fact that I was given more money for being in the second division than the Bundesliga. We've only made the signing of Camavinga here in this window. Still got a little bit to work with, hopefully, in January, but yeah, Camavinga, the only signing of the window. I mean, overall, the squad is half decent. Definitely areas where we need to improve. I'm going to look and see who grows in the first half of this season and who doesn't, and maybe try to sell on a player or two to finance a big signing in the second half of the year. But our hunt is for relegation avoidance, so let's see how we're going halfway through the Bundesliga season. We're actually doing a lot better than I expected. It's a little bit deceiving because we find ourselves in 11th position, but we're only 12 points out of safety, so we go on a bad run of form and we could easily be right back into the relegation battle. But so far, so good. I'm just grateful to not be in the position that clubs like Augsburg and Düsseldorf are currently in. Have decided to part ways with Angelo Stieler here, the midfielder headed to Racing Club for 4.9 mil. It's been a short run at the club here for Eric Garcia, but I have decided to sell him to Watford for £10 million. But that was all because we needed to finance the signing of Retsos here. The Greek defender has arrived from Real Sociedad for £19.5 million and adds another upgrade to the defensive back four. So there we go, just Retsos into the club this window, but we have sold Garcia and Stiller, so again, not much money to work with, but we've done pretty well for our amount of money. We have dropped down just the one position in the second half of the season, but we have avoided relegation quite comfortably. 43 points, 12th position, our first season, our first rodeo in the Bundesliga. Very happy to see that. Augsburg and Düsseldorf automatically relegated. Whilst at the other end, we still have a bit of work to do if we want to catch up to our bigger brother, Bayern Munich, Bundesliga champions. Leipzig are the DFB Pokal champs for this season, however. Werder Bremen do survive relegation, taking down Hanover quite easily. Way! Liverpool don't win the Champions League. Let's go. And Atletico Madrid take down Man United to win the Europa League. So there we go. That is our first season in the Bundesliga done and dusted. A comfortable survival. Now it's all about building the foundations to keep climbing that ladder. Season number 5 begins with a player departure. Derek Cohn is headed to Bordeaux for 7.4 mil. And I have decided to permanently cut off Lars Lucas Mai. We've actually managed to get £17.5 million from Benfica for him, so I'm considering that a dub. And in a sign that I'm going to be upgrading the right-hand side of the midfield, hopefully, we have sold Leon Daheku to Leicester City for 38.4 million. So we have a decent amount of money to work with now. I've also decided to loan out Simon Soam on another year loan, this time to Bologna. There it is, lads. That is the addition to the midfield I was alluding towards. We have signed Christian Pulisic. He's coming back to the Bundesliga. We've got him for an absolute steal as well, £42.4 million from Chelsea. I'm going to be playing him on the right-hand side of the midfield, and I'm sure all Dortmund fans are happy about this signing. So there we go, just the one addition to the side. Christian Pulisic into the starting 11. Cone, Mai, and Dajaku all out of the side. Due to the growth of a few of our players, there are a few positions that are just virtually insane. You look at Fati, you look at Pulisic, you look at Alvarez, all an arm's length, head and shoulders above the rest of the squad. I love to see that. So on the 1st of January, we currently find ourselves sitting 10th position in the Bundesliga, just one position ahead of where we were this time last year, which isn't great, but I mean, I'm just glad it's not second year syndrome so far. I thought we were going to have a lot more time to develop Kana, but the rest of the squad is growing so much rapidly ahead of him that we're going to sell him on here to Lazio for 26.5 million. And that has allowed us to make the signing of William Saliba here from Werder Bremen. Only just survived relegation last year, but we're going to sign him for £32.5 million. I knew I wanted to upgrade the goalkeeper spot at some point, but I didn't think it was going to be this season until bloody Villarreal came in here with a £46.4 million offer for Christian Fruchtel, which I happily accepted. I took the money and I goddamn ran. And we've actually made a profit on this deal. We have signed somebody that's 3 overall higher, 1 year older, and it's Andrei Lunin coming here, the Ukrainian goalkeeper signing from Real Madrid for 41.7 mil. So there we go, a pretty busy January transfer window. Saliba and Lunin in, Kana and Fruchtel out of the club. And all those signings only resulted in us finishing 9th. A little disappointing, but at least we were we were daylight ahead of Hertha Berlin. We're actually closer to Leipzig in those Europa League spots, so at least I hope that's a sign that we're getting a little bit better. Once again, Bayern Munich, our senior side, have just torn the league a new one. Hamburg and Union Berlin have been automatically relegated. Bayern Munich win yet another DFB Pokal title. Stuttgart survive relegation to the second division. Barcelona, maybe they're becoming the new Liverpool. They have won back-to-back Champions League titles. And Arsenal win yet another Europa League title. Quick little look at the growth of the squad. Wagnerman having an insane season of growth, up to an 84. Sarprit Singh up to an 84, but then Fati and Alvarez both up to an 87. Some of our players are just turning into some of the best in the world at this point. The growth of our squad has me very excited headed into this 6th season. Can we make a push for European football? Decided to sell on Noah Katterbach here to kick off this season. We've sold him to Jose Mourinho and Spurs for £35.9 million. And that is so we could finance this massive deal for Renan Lodi, £62 million to bring him across from PSG. Do I think we overpaid? Slightly. But do I think we needed him? And do I think he's going to be worth it? Bloody oath I do. 86 rated, 26 years of age. That's an end game player right there. It's a window specifically focused on left backs, but it's a window we needed. Lodi and Katterbach out of the club. Oh, the push for European football is well and truly on. We find ourselves in 7th position on 31 points. We need a big second half of the season though to secure a top 6 spot. It's been a while. I was debating whether I was even going to have the opportunity to make a pre-contract signing, but we have done that right here. Matthias de Ligt is going to be coming to Bayern Munich II on a free deal from Liverpool next season, which is fantastic. Thankfully, Liverpool must have signed him on a pretty small deal, or they might have signed him in the first season. I don't know, but I'm still copping that. Matthias de Ligt, a Bayern Munich II player in Season 7. No more business for this season, but having De Ligt coming in next season is going to be deadly, especially if we have European football to go with it. I don't think this means Champions League football, but I'm certain that we have Europa League football coming to Bayern Munich II next season. And something that makes me a little bit more excited is the fact that we are just 5 points behind Bayern Munich. Maybe there's a changing of the guard on the horizon. Down the bottom of the league, however, Stuttgart and Dusseldorf have been automatically relegated. Leverkusen have won DFB Pokal this season. Freiburg are the promotion playoff final winners. Barcelona have won a third successive Champions League. My God, there's no variety, is there? It's either Liverpool or Barca. Juve have taken down RB Leipzig to win the Europa League as well. Ansu Fati, I swear every time we check in with this kid, he's banging in goals for fun. 21 goals, 88 rated at age 22 already. He's had a great season, along with Alvarez, Pulisic, all having great seasons. So season 7 looks to be a very exciting one. De Ligt coming into the side. I feel like if we were playing Champions League football this coming season, we could honestly have a red hot crack at it. But it just gives us another opportunity to keep building the squad out and to hopefully make a push come season 8. When I signed Camavinga in season 4, I believe it was, I had full intentions of using this guy through the entirety of this rebuild, but just like a few other players, the squad has outgrown him, and when Man City are offering £80 million for him, you've got to accept it. And that is so we could sign Federico Valverde from Real bloody Madrid, £66.4 million, so we've made a £16 million profit following that in Camavinga. And we've got someone that is 7 overall higher. Thank you very much. I've also decided to sign a backup goalkeeper here. Lunin is my number 1 man moving forward, but we have signed Justin Bilo, 84 rated. We've signed him for £25.9 million from Sampdoria. So there we go, another window focused on quality over quantity. Valverde is going to take our midfield to a whole new level. Oh, lads, look at that. I'm not trying to get too excited, but right now, on the 1st of January, we find ourselves not only in the title race, not only in a Champions League position, but most importantly, ahead of Bayern Munich. We're currently, 5 points ahead of our bigger brother, or should I say, our smaller brother now. And not only are we ahead of Bayern Munich, I'm going to start using them as our feeder club. I've decided to sign Jan Fiat up. Now, of course, he has moved to Atletico Madrid in his save, but don't let the facts skew you from a good bloody story. A former Bayern Munich man, we've signed him for £33.3 million. And that's all the business we've been able to do here in the January transfer window. But this team coming together beautifully. Get in there, lads. We finish in 2nd position in the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich almost caught up to us in the second half of the season. We had a pretty poor second half of the season given the start we had, but we finish 1 point ahead here and we're playing Champions League football. Bayern Munich 1, bow down to the master. Bow down. At the other end of the scale, however, it is Hamburg and Union Berlin being relegated. Bayer Leverkusen getting their hands on another DFB Pokal. FC Cologne, the Billy Goats, surviving relegation. Oh, Liverpool, back to their winning ways in the Champions League. And Chelsea have taken down Bayern Munich in the Europa League. How did we go in the Europa League this season? Oh, bloody hell. Of course. Of course we had to. We lose in the semi-finals of the Europa League to Bayern Munich 1. Alright, that's karma for me talking a whole lot of shit before. So that's a little bit humbling there, but at least I know we've done well in the Bundesliga and we've gone quite deep in the Europa League. Let's crack on Season 8 Champions League football for the first time. I am super focused on building out a good support system in this 8th season so that we can have a good and safe run at a hopeful Champions League final. But we have signed Marco Richter here from Freiburg, a backup right midfielder. Same deal here, signed Ianis Hagi, the Romanian attacking midfielder from Saint Etienne, £28 million for him. Those were the two positions right now where I felt we needed the most improvement. Gonna reassess the situation come January. Gonna leave some money in the space in the cap so that we can hopefully make some adjustments if we have injuries. But in terms of our starting 11, I am absolutely in love with the side we have so far. A few players that I want to continue growing, most notably Saliba and Skip, but players like Alvarez, Fati, Valverde, De Ligt, just absolutely insane, especially Wagnerman as well, 89 rated, and Sarpreet Singh, 88 rated. Beautiful to see. Something that I also find quite beautiful to see is our Champions League group. In terms of group draws, this one is certainly a more favourable one. Yes, we have some tough opponents in Roma, Ajax, and Spartak Moscow, but in the grand scheme of things, we could have received a lot worse. There it is, lads. We comfortably get ourselves through to the knockout rounds of the Champions League. Not a single loss, just the 2 goals conceded. Couldn't ask for a much better run. But this is where things get real. PSG always have an insane side in career mode, especially, 8 seasons deep. We faced them in the last 16. However, at the halfway point of the Bundesliga season, we currently find ourselves top of the league, 4 points ahead of Leverkusen, and most importantly, 7 points ahead of Bayern Munich. Gonna make some more upgrades to the squad here though, like I said I would. I have decided to sign one Foyth here, £37.3 million, a high-rated backup defender. But the thing I love about him is he can play centre-back, he can play right-back, he can play left-back. So it's really a defensive utility signing. And that's the only business we have done here, a player that can cover multiple facets of the side in case we have any injuries. But we're into the last 16 of the Champions League. Let's go take on PSG. Here we go, lads. Grabbing our passports, heading to the French capital as we take on PSG at the Parc des Princes. We're going to not waste any time. Hopefully get some away goals on the board. And it's a 3-0 win. My God. I thought PSG would put up so much more of a fight than that. I mean, they have Mbappe, Bergwijn, Auer, Laporte. They've got a good team, but we've just done them 3-0, and we haven't picked up any injuries. That is a good start. So I'm very, very confident heading into this second leg here. The big thing now is to, number one, obviously make sure we don't choke it, but number two, make sure we don't pick up any injuries, no suspensions, getting straight into it, and it's a 2-0 win. Richter and Fati putting us through. Saliba with a yellow card there, so hopefully that's not a suspension for him, but that's 5-0 on aggregate. Valencia in the quarterfinals. Definitely a much better draw given the teams remaining, but Valencia is still going to cause us some issues. Barcelona, 4-0 up. My God. So we start off at home here, which I'm not super happy about. The big thing for us in this first leg is to keep a clean sheet. Would love to get another 3-0 win like we had in the first leg against PSG, but it's only going to be a 2-1 win. They get an away goal, which has left the door ajar for them. It's still well and truly alive in the second leg. So we're headed to Spain here, and I'm really, really hoping Valencia don't shithouse a 1-0 win. That's exactly what I'm hoping doesn't happen. We're going to skip, and it's going to be a 3-0 win. Okay. We're doing well on the bloody road. That's 2 3-0 wins on the road. So we go through, 5-1 on aggregate to the semis. Valverde with a brace. Liverpool are not alive in the Champions League, but we're versing Barcelona, the other team that have just absolutely dominated through the entirety of this rebuild, which makes me quite nervous, especially considering how much they destroyed Juve. We are getting into the away leg up first. I'm really hoping for another 3-0 win. A little bit worried because Retsos has come into the starting 11. We have suffered a slight injury to Saliba. He's almost back to full strength, but I wanted to keep him on the bench for this game. Anyways, we're going to jump into it here, and we're going to come away with a 2-1 win. Okay, 2 away goals. I'm happy about that. The fact that we had away goals really, really helps. But I'm just really nervous about Barcelona killing it in the second leg. They have a very strong squad. We need to get through to the Champions League final. The scoreline is a 1-0 win to Barca. 2-1, 1-0. We're through on away goals rule. I just had to do some quick math there. It finishes 2-2. But those 2 away goals, oh, they see us get through to the Champions League final. Whew, my heart just sunk there for a second. So, our opponents in the Champions League final are going to be Atletico Madrid. Bayern Munich II versus Atletico Madrid in the 2027 Champions League final. Taking a look around the grounds at the other results from this season, it is Leverkusen going down to AC Milan in the Europa League final. And we have won the Bundesliga title here with Bayern Munich II. That is absolutely brilliant to see. And even better, it means if we lose tonight to Atletico, there is another shot for us in next year's Champions League. Cologne and Hanover automatically relegated, however. And it is a DFB Pokal here, titled to Borussia Dortmund. But anyways, lads, we're going to have a look at the starting side and the squad report, all that good stuff ahead of the Champions League final here against Atletico Madrid. I absolutely love the side that I've put together for the pure fact that there is so much depth. There is so many players that can cover different areas. And I mean, if you've seen the rebuilds in the past, you would know how much I love this facet of the game, but it is never more evident with this side. The youth side of the side, I've said side so many times, but the youth aspect helps us a lot. And I'm just so excited to see what we can do with this Bayern Munich II side as we head into the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid. No longer the younger brother. We now have a chance to be bigger than Bayern Munich and bigger than the entirety of European football. Come on, nicely won there. Sing. Oh, we've gotten a lucky bounce there. It might actually open up for us here. Valverde. For some space. Gonna have to go back here. It's Skip. Going to Fati. Going in there. What a ball! Sarpreet Singh has had the air swing of all air swings. Good win there from Delete. Going to Wagnerman, back to Valverde, looking for somebody in the middle. We're going to hold it up. I see you in there, Wagnerman, the right back of all players, gives us the lead here in the Champions League final. Our attacking midfielder, Sarpreet Singh, couldn't get it done, but Wagnerman fires us into the lead. They're looking for a quick response here. Atletico. João Felix going to Richarlison. Can't get through. Just clear that one. Oh, it's a weak pass. It goes back. Good save from Lunin. We've got to be smarter with it coming out of the back. They're just holding it up here. Lo Celso in the box. I see that man open. We need to block that desperately. Otherwise, we're in big strife. But we're in strife and we don't bloody clear it. Just stop messing around with it. It's going to get us in trouble. Thankfully, they put in a terrible shot like that. But my God. We actually might be open on the counter-attack here, though. Alvarez. Much pace you guys. See you at the back post, Fati. I see Fati at the back post. Beautiful ball. Beautiful finish. Oh my God. Ansu Fati and Alvarez have just connected for one of the best counter-attacking goals you are ever going to see. My God. Come on. The time's running out here for Atletico Madrid. Just got to keep thwarting every single attack forward. João Felix. I mean, it's easy to stay ahead when they're pulling out shit shots like that. We're approaching stoppage time, lads. And a potential counter-attack has opened up here. Fati. Nice move there from Ansu. Going to Sarpreet Singh. Sarpreet Singh, beautiful ball. Into Valverde. Puts the what? Oh, I was about to say puts the icing on top. I thought that was going to be curtains. How do you miss that? Come on, man. But it's all right, lads. That's going to be all she wrote, and that is going to be the Champions League title to Bayern Munich II. Not only are we bigger than our bigger brothers Bayern Munich, we're now bigger than the entirety of European football, lads. What a journey it has been. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a like on the video. Subscribe down below if you're new around here. But just savor these title celebrations, because I know I will as well. Lads, it's been Jared HD here. I'm out. Peace.